Hello all, Namaskar. Welcome back again. This is Durga Prasad Adhikary. A lot of aspirants have asked me that which pen I used for Civil Services Mains and for IFoS Mains, Indian Forest Services Mains and other mains as well. So basically, regarding my 2020 attempt, I must tell you that using a right pen is a very important thing while writing mains. I'll tell you what pen I used, but before that, I must say why the pen is important. The number one thing, the pen must be very smooth. It must be like very buttery. If the pen is very buttery, because you have to write 50 pages in 3 hours, so the pen must be very smooth and it must be like a very easy flow. It must have very minimum friction. And what happens, I'll tell you the practical thing. After every pen appears very smooth in the initial part of the writing, but after around 1.5 to 2 hours the hand starts paining. It pains like hell. Why that happens? Because the paper is exerting some friction on you, and the more effort you put towards ending those friction, the more effort that your hand is putting on, and that's why it pains a lot. So the pen must be very smooth and it must have very minimum friction, because I have seen that in my first attempt I used another pen, but in my second attempt, means first mains attempt, I used another pen in 2020, but in 2021 I changed the pen and it was very smooth and it was very buttery, and I completed the paper well before 3 hours. But in the first attempt I could not do so, because after the hand started paining badly, I could not complete the paper as such in time, and I had to write the last answers in very rush. I feel they had taken a toll on my marks. So basically what I did in the last attempt was that I changed the pen, and I'll show you which pen that I used. Basically, as many of you say, sir, please show what all pens that you have used. So these are all the set of pens that I have used in my previous attempts as such, including all those things. But the pen that I used during my 2021 attempt, by which I got the mains, got the rank in both forest and in civil, was the Pentel Energel. It is the Pentel Energel pen. Pentel Energel 0.7. Again, I must tell you, this is not something like campaigning and advertising and all those things. I am telling you the genuine things that helped me to write in the exam. So this is Pentel Energel. I used the 0.7 mm wala pen, not the 0.5 mm, because 0.7 mm pen will have a thicker writing. And what happens if the writing is thicker, then the page appears very fulfilled, like you don't find very lot of spaces here and there. So I prefer to use 0.7 mm because it fills the paper very well. 0.5 mm might require some more writing, and use in between those time writing some more means it is again taking a toll on the time. So basically this is the pen that I used, and the best part was that the 2020 the pen I wrote was not waterproof. This is waterproof, and it is 0.7 mm. The 0.7 mm tip you can see, and the refill is this one. The pen costs around 35 to 40 rupees, and the refill is around 20. And for each paper I required around 1.25. That one full refill was exhausted, and from the another refill, that was around 25% of the refill was used. So I used them, and in fact because the lesson that I have learned in 2020 attempt, that if you don't have a good pen, if you don't finalize your pen well before the exam, that it might not help you in completing the paper. However, there are other aspirants who complete the paper well within the time, but I thought that I must try with my pen, and I did that, and it has helped me remarkably. The pen that I used, because this is the pen, but what happens here, there is no grip. If there is no grip, and while you are writing 3 hours, means the rubber grip and all those things, while you are writing 3 hours, your hands start paining a lot. So that's why what I did, I took the tip top version of that pen. This is again Pentel Energel only, but I took this tip top version, and here you can see there is grip. I used this pen exactly, and this is its black version. I used both these pens while writing the mains, because I said 1.25 refill was being exhausted, so I needed to keep another pen ready, because the moment it got exhausted, I used to write with another pen. This is something a very old Adidas pen, and in which the Pentel Energel 0.7 mm fitted well. So this was also a part of my arsenal, you can say, but I don't know whether you will get this pen or not, because the refill that I used in this pen was again from the Pentel Energel only. It fitted perfectly well. However, with that also, and this is again, just a minute, this is again another Pentel Energel 0.7 mm. This is the new version. You can use this also. It costs around 35 rupees if I'm not wrong, and this is also perfectly fine. Here the whole this thing is rubbery type, so it is also very good. So this is the thing that I used in the mains this time. So there are other approaches that I tried well before also, like using this grip. this grip. You can get this grip in Amazon, around 8 pieces, takes around 100 or 150 rupees around. You can get this grip. I tried well before the exam also by using this grip. I used it very sparsely because in the mains I could not use it. But if you have good grip and you have practiced well, you can use this as well. In fact, I had not known before that there is a tip-top version of the pentel. So that's why this is the pentel energel pen. But I use this foam. You can see this is the foam. The foam I used and I sellotaped it for my practice as well, and this was working perfectly fine. The only problem was that I could not put the cap. So I used to take out the refill after I write and keep them at other place. While writing I used to fill. But in the meanwhile I got the tip-top pen, so I use that in the exam. But you can also try this one because this foam is working perfectly fine. You can also use cotton for that. Some use the rubber bands for that. The grip is fine and they will not hurt your fingers. There is another thing, many say that there is torque issue, and if the pen is of reduced size, then you can write much more at easier pace. So for that also I had tried this sort of arrangement, like this is the refill in which I have fitted this sellotape. You can see the sellotape over here. This is the pentel energen refill only to hold it and grip. But I did not use that in the exam as well because I thought it was very straining. So it is said that the thicker pen is very easier to hold and write. So I had good practice with this thing, and at the end I wrote with this one. So the pen that I used was again Pentel Energel 0.7 mm, not 0.5, it is 0.7 mm, and they have worked perfectly fine for me, and they are waterproof. And I feel that in fact to all the aspirants I have said, they have also said mostly that it is working very well. So if you are writing in any other pen, like some prefer Pilot V5, V7, or some prefer the normal pens like the Rorito and the Trimax and all, whatever is working for you, if it is working perfectly fine, if you are able to complete it within 3 hours, go with it. But if you are facing difficulty with respect to pen, I'll say please try this one. Again, this is not for any campaigning, advertisement or nothing. I'm just sharing because after 2020 attempt, I took a I tried a lot of pens, and after that I finalized this. So this is the something that is one of the success behind me completing the paper within the time. In fact, 5 to 10 minutes before the required time. So this has helped me a lot. I hope this will again help you a lot. So you can try this, and please remember, a good pen will help you reach your journey very faster. Okay, so that's why it is very important. You can try with that, and other pens also, if they're working fine, that is perfectly fine. Thank you again. Namaskar for being here. Namaste.